show you how to do a create classic tweens using the Adobe Animate program. So let's open up Animate. In this video, I'll show you like how to. We're gonna draw a blue circle or a blue oval, and we will navigate the oval across the screen. When when the message comes up about the downloading the Osaka app, you can clip this. You can skip this, and the program will load. We're gonna create new, or you can actually click on the full HD version. We'll have full HD. So there it is. Main thing, couple of reviews. This is our toolbar, and the two tools we're going to use today are the selection tool, which is a black arrow, and we're also going to use the rectangle tool. Okay. Here's your color palette for the fill color. Down here is our timeline, which has frames. So every 5 frames you will see a light gray box, and that'll be very helpful when you're kind of timing your projects. This right side is your properties window. So every tool, or right now it's set for the stage area. It has all your properties. It tells you the settings for your properties, the stage color, which you could change if you needed to. So whenever you click on a tool, you'll see the properties window, and you can alter the properties of your tool. Okay. This white area is the stage, and this is where everything takes place. If I zoom out to 25%, you will see that this is the actual stage. Anything that takes place only when you export your projects, only things that take place in the white stage area or the stage area we have selected will be exported. Everything else in the outside will not be. So please make sure that all your action takes place on the stage. Okay. So I'm going to go back to fit to window. If your layout looks different from mine, you can change that by going to window, workspaces, and essentials. You can also, if your boxes or windows get messed up, you can always reset essentials, and it'll put everything back to its normal layout. Okay, so I'm using essentials for mine. We're going to start by instead of using a rectangle, I'm going to hold down that box option, the toolbox. I'm going to scroll down to oval tool. I'm going to draw. The fill color is blue. It also can create an exterior outline of the circle as well when you draw something. So I don't recommend not using it unless you really need to, because it creates 2 separate objects which can be difficult to work with. So make sure your stroke color's off until you need it. So right now for the fill, we're going to draw a circle in the upper left part of your screen, the size of a quarter. Okay, there it is. Okay, and now we're going to move to our timeline. In our timeline, we're going to get the black arrow tool. We'll click on frame 20. Okay. It's highlighted, and I'm going to go to Insert Timeline Keyframe. Okay. This will now, it's telling the program Animate that you want to do an action that means start point is going to be in frame 1, which is the top left corner. In frame 20, I want my circle to move to the upper right corner of my screen, so I'm going to click. If you hold the shift key down while you're moving it, it'll put in this, it's a straight line. If you let go of the shift key, you can freely move it as you please. I'm going to hold the shift key because I want it to go straight across. Okay, I'll drop it there. Okay, so my start point again is frame 1. My end point is frame 20. And now I want the animation to take place. So I'm going to right click in the light gray area here. I'm going to go to Create Classic Tween. And now when I move my playhead to the beginning part of my timeline, I can press return, and it does the movement that goes from top left to top right in 20 frames. Okay, let's try to double that amount and see what happens. So this time, instead of going to 20, I'm going to go to frame 60, which is going to be 40 frames. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Insert Timeline Keyframe. Okay, my start point for this will be frame 20 is my top right, and going to frame 60, I want it to go to my bottom right. So I'm going to hold the shift key again to make it a straight path. I'm going to drop it to the bottom right. Okay. So again, my start point is frame 20. My end point is frame 60. I will then create the animation process by right-clicking in the light gray area. Create Classic Tween. Okay. I'll move my playhead to the beginning part. I'll press return. and oh, it slows it down. So now we know the more frames you have in between your objects or your frames, you will have the object will slow down. Okay, so this time I'm gonna make it speed up. I'll put less frames in there. So I'll put, instead of going to 20 or 30, I'm gonna go to 10 frames. So go to frame 70. Now the shortcut key to adding a keyframe is the F6 key, which is on the top of your keyboard. So F6 is the shortcut key for that. I'm going to press F6. Okay, so there it is. And again, my end point, my start point is frame 60, my end point frame 70. I want to move it to the bottom left part of my screen. And again, I'll hold my shift key down so it makes a straight path. Then I'm going to right click in the light gray area, create a classic tween. I will move my playhead to the beginning part of my animation, my timeline, and then press return. So there it is. It goes a little bit fast across, slower down the slope, and then going from bottom right to bottom left, it goes fast again. I'm going to wrap up my animation by going to frame 100. I'm going to press F6, again, the top row of your keyboard. Okay. I'm going to put the end point to the top left part of my screen. Okay. There, okay. And then I'm going to right click in the light gray area, create classic tween. I'm going to go back to the beginning part of my screen, my timeline, and press return. And now it goes all the way around. Okay. So now you created your first animation. Now, when we export the project, if you want to see what that looks like what's it going to look like when it exports? If you press Command Return on your keyboard, this is what it will look like when you export it. So you can get an idea. It's a preview of what it'll look like, and it loops too. So after it does an automatic loop. Okay, so it shows it to you over and over again. You can close this window. Let's save what we have here. We're gonna go File, Save As. Adobe Animate does not save automatically, so you have to continue to save. So I'm gonna call this Blue Oval. Okay. Save it to my desktop because I'll continue working on this, and I'm done. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, in the comment window on the bottom.